We all know Disney loves to be different in the very best of ways. A Disney cruise is going to be a different experience than you are going to have with any other cruise line. From dining times and locations, alcohol and drink packages, family atmospheres, Broadway caliber shows, kids clubs, and even the tips, there are so many differences on Disney Cruise Line. Here are the 10 biggest differences that we see. Number 1 is their dining. If you go on any other cruise line, they are typically going to have freestyle dining, meaning you can pick the time, you can pick the location, and go enjoy your dinner. Now, with Disney Cruise Line, that's different. They're going to have 3 main dining restaurants on every Disney cruise ship. The theming varies a little bit from restaurant to restaurant, so you do have an experiential element in there as well. Throughout your cruise, you will rotate through these 3 main dining restaurants. You will be assigned a dining time, either early or late, early being approximately 5:45 and late being approximately 8:15. Disney Cruise Line will assign you that dining time and rotation, and you will find out what that is once you get on the ship. It will be in the Disney Cruise Line Navigator app. When you book your cruise, you can make a request for early or late dining. If they don't have the one you want, you can get on a waiting list and hopefully get it before you get on the cruise ship. If for some reason you really want, for example, early dining and haven't gotten it by the time you get on the ship, go straight to dining guest services once you get on board. See if they can help you with that. There are 2 things to consider here. 1, you will have a really good relationship with your servers by the end of the cruise because you will have 3 of them assigned to you every evening. They will get to know your likes, dislikes. They always had iced tea waiting for us when we would get to the table, and after we asked to color one night, they also brought us the kids menus with crayons every night as well. It was a lot of fun. And as far as the dining time goes, typically the people with the younger tiny humans try to get the earlier dining time. We really love the late dining time. Another thing you might want to consider is the time zone you are coming from and the time zone the cruise is on. That can be a consideration on which time to choose. With this rotational dining system, they are really kind of assuming that you are going to be at the main dining restaurants for dinner. So there are not a lot of other dining options for dinner. They will have room service that's available 24 hours a day, but it's definitely a limited menu. And there will typically be something available up on deck, but the majority of it is going to be closed. They're not going to have a buffet available during dinner like they do on a lot of other cruise lines. They will also have specialty dining. Depending on which cruise ship you are on, there will be 1 or 2 of those. You do need to make reservations for those in advance. And for breakfast and lunch, they will have 1 main dining restaurant open for breakfast and for lunch. They will also have the buffet available for breakfast and lunch. However, note these are about a 1.5 hour window, so make sure you know when it is so that you don't miss it. And they will have the room service available 24/7. It's just a bit of a limited menu. They will also have their quick service options on deck. Make sure you try their French fries. They are so good, and everybody raves about their chicken tenders as well. And they also have a soft serve machine up on deck as well. One of the aspects of the rotational dining on Disney Cruise Line is that you are going to really get to know your service team, since they will be going with you to each of your main dining restaurants each evening. If you're in specialty dining, they won't be there, but they are in all 3 of the main dining restaurants that you're going to be assigned to. And this leads me into the second thing that is really different with Disney Cruise Line, and that's tips and gratuities. A lot of cruise lines will have tips and gratuities built into your cruise fare, especially with the freestyle dining. Since you never have the same server, I really see how this works for that cruising model. For Disney Cruise Line, with the main dining restaurants, you are going to get to know your servers a lot better than you probably have ever known any on any other cruise line. On Norwegian, I never saw the same service person. You will also get to know your room attendant a lot better. On Norwegian, I don't think we ever saw our room attendant. They were in and out. On Disney Cruise Line, they're going to be in and out as well, but you're typically going to see them at some point in the hall. They're going to ask you about your day, anything they can do better, etc. So you're going to get to know the 3-person dining team and the room attendant really well. With that in mind, when you get to the end of the cruise and it's time to finalize the gratuities for them, and pro tip, you can prepay your gratuities with Disney Cruise Line as well. I like to do that. To me, it's included in the cost of the cruise. That's just the way it is. We also bring extra money with us because by the end of the cruise, cruise, we always want to give them a little bit more. You get such amazing, fabulous service on Disney Cruise Line. You just want to reward them for it. So pro tip, bring a little bit of extra money for your gratuity envelopes. They'll put those in your room at the end of the cruise. We also bring additional 1s and 5s. We like to get room service. I especially love getting some fruit, juice, and coffee delivered to us first thing in the morning. We take that out on the veranda. It's a beautiful way to wake up. We typically will tip $1 to $2 per item for the room service. Sometimes they have a receipt that you can sign. You can add it on there. There's also usually a spot where you can add it into the Navigator app. You can also just give them some cash. We also like to have a little bit extra cash for the ports if I want to buy something, especially under maybe $50. It's just a lot easier to have cash on hand. Number 3 change for a new Disney cruiser is going to be alcohol packages. Almost all other cruise lines have alcohol packages. Sometimes they're like $15 a day for a couple $100. It really varies on which cruise line, but Disney does not have these. I think since Disney's a family cruise line, they don't have these alcohol packages. They do have options though. Any adult 21 and over can carry on 2 bottles of wine or champagne or 6 bottles or cans of beer per person per port. Gotta be over 21, gotta carry it on, gotta stick to those limits and items. So that can help with the alcohol cost on board. A few other ways to get a break on the alcohol on board is they typically have $5 or $6 mimosas or Bloody Marys available before noon. They will also have a beer mug you can purchase. You get a little bit more beer for a little bit less cost. Each time you refill it, you do get to take that beer mug home. And if you don't want to carry it around with you from bar to bar, they have these little tokens. You can just put that in your pocket, present it when you get to the next bar for another beer. They also have the drink of the day. This is typically about $5 or $6. They will have a different drink of the day every day. And they do have a souvenir cup that you can get here as well. It used to be a little bit of a deal, same as the beer mug. They seem to have changed that now. It seems to be about the same amount of ounces as the drink of the day. It's just that you get that souvenir cup, and that's typically available the first day of the cruise. And almost every cruise ship will have a sommelier bin in one of their bars. This is where you pay $10 for a glass of wine, white, red, or sparkling. They will choose which wine it is, and it'll always be a wine that is more than $10 per glass. So you don't know exactly what you're ordering, but you get to try something really good. They do have some wine and beer packages available online. Before you get on your cruise, if you look at the onboard gifts sections, they're going to have some wine packages and beer packages in there. These are not a deal though, which is what people are typically going for when they look at alcohol packages. Also, it is good to note for the wine you bring on, or if you buy one of those wine packages, if you want it to be opened at dinner, they will charge you a corking fee, and that just went up to $27. So we would just have it in the room with a cheese tray as a little bit of getting ready snack. But our absolutely favorite way to do any type of alcohol on the ship is their alcohol tastings. We love mixology. You're typically going to get 4 different drinks in that class. They're not going to be full size, but sometimes they are. They also have brandy tastings, bourbon, whiskey, beer, wine, a mojito, and our other favorite one is the chocolate and liquor. It is so good. I discovered my favorite port in this class. Alcohol tastings do need to be reserved ahead of time when you do your online activity selections because they typically sell out. And sometimes they have a captain's reception in the atrium, and they will be walking around serving drinks for that. And that brings me to number 4, which is soft drinks. Most cruise lines will not have those included with the cost of your cruise, and so that is a part of drinks packages as well. They have them for alcohol, they also have them for non-alcohol for sodas, but with Disney Cruise Line, your sodas are going to be included. There are a couple of considerations. Number 1, if you are at a bar and ask for a soda, they're going to charge you for it, or if you order one from room service, they're going to charge you for it. But if you order a soda while you are at breakfast, lunch, or dinner, those will be included with the cost of your cruise. They also have a soda machine up on deck, which will typically have hot cocoa, hot tea options as well. And the drink station inside the buffet will also have juice and milk. Number 5, Disney Cruise really has a very family-centric atmosphere. I think a lot of other cruise ships are a little bit more adult-focused because historically cruising was perhaps more of an adult vacation. But Disney Cruise Line is definitely changing that, and honestly, I think think the entire market these days is really going more towards cruising. It is by far my favorite way to travel, but you gotta be on a good ship, which is why we love Disney cruising so much. So if you're cruising with the family, they are really going to have a lot of fun things that the family can do together. This is what really drew me to Disney Cruise Line at first. I have since come to love adult cruising as well with my fiance. It's just such a good time, honestly, for any age. One of my favorites for families is they're going to have family game shows. That's really a fun way to get to know your family. It's also a lot of fun to watch with the family because it's just so inclusive. They're gonna have family crafts times, trivia times. They're gonna have movies both in the theaters and on the Funnel Vision on deck. They're gonna have first run movies in their theater also. And they're all gonna be Disney, so those are family movies. Their water coasters or Aquamouse, the first attraction at sea, those are a lot of fun for families. The deck shows are so fun. They use music from when we were kids. They've got characters that the little tiny humans love. It's just a lot of fun. Their stage shows are Broadway caliber. They've got Pirate Night where everybody can play together, get dressed up. They've got even more to do on the themed and holiday cruises like Halloween and Christmas. They've got animation classes for the family. And of course, they've also got the pools, but I'll be honest, I call those tiny human soup. Now, that being said, with all of that family fun to be had, number 6 that is so different is the Kids Club hours. The Kids Club's hours on other cruise lines are definitely shorter. They're not going to be open as much as they are on Disney, and they're open late on Disney Cruise. And not only that, they have just so many super fun things to do. I love to go in during the open house because they have a lot of great activities in these kids clubs. And I especially want to try this roller coaster simulator. Another factor about the youth clubs is that they have really great crew members and they're creating activities for people to play in all the time. So there's just more interaction going on. You don't just have to go pick a board game or play a video game. They have more going on. They do have those options as well, and they're open late. There's just a lot going on in the youth clubs, which is great because they do have 18 and over specific activities as well. And while the tiny humans are in the youth club, that means you get to go do whatever you want. And I highly recommend Match Your Mate. It is going to be one evening of the cruise. It's 18 and above, and it is so funny. Now, I guess I have a lot of favorites on Disney Cruise Line, but another one of them is number 7, their Broadway-style shows. There is just nothing that's going to compare to this on other cruise lines. And yes, they are going to have some amazing shows on other cruise lines. I just really love the theming with Disney stories in these shows because there's a message, there's a meaning, it's nostalgic, it's going to be inspiring, it's good for the entire family, and it's amazing effects, acting, music. They really are Broadway caliber. Make sure you see their stage shows while you're on board. And they're also after well-loved Disney favorites, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Moana. They're gonna have Hercules on the Destiny next year. Make sure you check out their stage shows. And pro tip, get there early. It's gonna fill up. And if you're going to the Golden Mickeys, you might want to get there a little bit earlier because you get to walk the red carpet. That's a fun thing to experience. Sometimes they will also have these available on the TV in the stateroom. It will cut out though usually. They're not always going to have reception for the entire thing, so you'll probably miss part of it. Plus, it's just so much more engrossing in person. Once in a while, they will also have these during the day, so check your Navigator app. They will have a daily schedule of everything going on your Disney Cruise Line Navigator app. And pro tip, download that as soon as you book your cruise. It does have a fun countdown on there as well. Plus, you can do your onboard booking activities, online check-in, whole bunch of stuff available on that Navigator app. Number 8, character experiences are only going to be on Disney Cruise Line, especially Disney characters. We are actually not huge character people, but it's the character interactions and sightings that I really love when we're on the ships. And as a matter of fact, Sleepwalking Goofy is one of those ones that we have not seen yet, and I have heard a rumor that he is not around anymore. So if you have any recent Sleepwalking Goofy sightings, please let us know in the comments below. What month, what ship, what time, what location? We want to catch them. They will have a ton of character meet and greets on board. Again, check that Navigator app. You can heart them in there. It will remind you when and where they are. I really love seeing them on Halloween in their Halloween costumes. I also really love it when we just catch them wandering around the ship. Sometimes they'll stop and talk to you. It just is fun too when they pop up all of a sudden. And my favorite is their costume changes. They're gonna have different outfits for the beach at Castaway Cay. They're actually gonna have a different one for Lookout Cay. Our very favorite favorite though is their formal night attire. They are so cute. And that leads us into number 9 actually, because most other cruise lines will have more formal attire requirements. Disney Cruise Line does have some formal attire requirements, but definitely they're not going to be as strict as other cruise lines. And if you're going on a 3 or 4 night cruise, they're not even going to have a formal night, so you don't have to dress up like that. That being said, if you want to, feel free. Some people go all the way out, especially for formal night though. You will see cocktail gowns. You get to choose what you want to wear on Disney Cruise Line for the most part. No bathing suits or swim cover-ups. And if you are doing any of these specialty dining 18 and above, they do have dress requirements. And Remy and Ashante's dress requirements are the strictest. Make sure you verify those if you're going to dinner there. One thing I have noticed a lot of people like to do for formal night is get family pictures. I think that's a great idea. There are going to be multiple photographers out there. You can use those for annual family photos, Christmas cards. Their photo packages are kind of expensive though, so research that, see if it's something that fits for you. If you're not going to do that, you can always purchase individual photos. You can also ask one of the crew members to take a picture of you with your phone as well. They are happy to do that. And number 10, some people are going to be surprised that there is no casino on Disney Cruise Line. Most other cruise lines will have a casino on board, and Disney Cruise just does not have that. That being said, if you do want the element to win on a Disney cruise ship, they have bingo, which is really popular. We've done it before. It's like $40 for multiple cards. There are other price ranges, and sometimes they have some big pots. I've heard of people winning thousands of dollars at bingo on Disney, so that is an option. A couple of other minor ways to perhaps win something on a Disney cruise is you can go to their port shopping talks. They will often have some giveaways at those. Color changing bags, socks, a visor, that type of thing. One of our favorites is the Disney Vacation Club talks. Of course, they're wanting you to sign up for Disney Vacation Club, but they will also typically have something that you can get there. They used to give away really nice art. Only a few people would get it. The last couple of times I've gone, it's been $50 onboard credit. You do have to spend it on that cruise. They will have a spa raffle on the first day, and each port day, they will have little charms that are available at the port shopping desk. These are from Diamonds International. Sometimes you have to go get it from the store that's in port. These are not expensive, but they are a cute little trinket from the vacation. If you like these, please share these videos with a friend. We are really trying to build up our community here. Thanks for being here. And if you haven't seen it yet, there are 4 more ships coming to Disney Cruise Line. Go check out our take on what they might do with those 4 ships. Thanks for being here. We'll see you real soon with some more Disneys.